My sister's kids tried to frame me for unalived, so I made them regret it. From the second I started dating my beautiful wife, our families hated each other. You see, she was practically the embodiment of the American dream. All-white family, 5-bedroom house, a golden Labrador. So when she started dating me, a Mexican raised by a dirt-poor family who worked his way up, they weren't too happy to say the least. But my wife meant everything to me, so I was determined to woo them. And after years of sending thousands of dollars of gifts for their nieces and nephews, baskets of flowers, and paying for their online subscription fees, they finally decided they were somewhat okay with me marrying their daughter. Meanwhile, my family refused to stop referring to her as Gringa. To avoid conflict, I tried to decline invites to as many family events as possible. But one day, during a summer cookout at my parents' place, my mom kept guilt-tripping me, so, for once, me and my wife actually showed up. But as soon as we arrived, I wanted the ground to swallow us up whole. We arrived at 12:03, just 3 minutes late, and immediately we were getting dirty looks. My sisters, Georgina and Camila, came up to us and said, "We thought a cracker like you was too good to show up to our cookout." My wife looked like she was about to cry, and I basically told them to F off. Their husbands, Pedro and Juan, just rolled their eyes, and if not for the kids, I would have slapped them right there and then. So instead, we grabbed some frozen margaritas and tried to drink our way to happiness. That's when Dad waved from his hot tub sanctuary. "Hey, smart move, son. Get that good white girl kitty with no bun in the oven." I looked over at my wife, and I could tell she was doing that thing she does where she pretends to not care, when really she's on the verge of crying their eyes out. But before I could react, Georgina chimed in. "Some of us actually want to continue the family legacy, Dad." Suddenly, passive-aggressive comments about how selfish we were started flying at us. I grabbed my wife's hand to leave, but she was adamant on staying. And you know the saying, happy wife, happy life? Well, I pretty much lived by that. So, unfortunately, we stayed. And about 45 minutes later, two of the kids, Georgina's oldest boy Diogo and Camila's daughter Renata, started running around the pool trying to shove people in. And by this point, me and my wife were pretty intoxicated, so we just sat by the sunbeds. But before I knew it, they were making their way towards this white woman in her 60s. She was standing dangerously close to the pool, and when the kids finally grabbed her, she stumbled. But she didn't completely fall, and mainly just got partially soaked up to her knees. After she left, my family immediately burst into laughter. "Did you see her ugly cracker face?" Pedro guffawed, nearly spilling his beer onto his fat belly and laughed. I was genuinely disgusted, and an awful gut feeling washed over me. But still, my wife swore that she was bonding well with my family, and somehow convinced me to stay. But then, just a few minutes later, everything changed, and I tried to murder my nephews and nieces. At least, that's what my family wants to believe. You see, out of nowhere as I stood beside the pool chatting up a storm, I noticed 3 kids charging full speed toward me from my peripheral vision. Obviously, I was their next target. I simply sidestepped at the last second, and all 3 kids ran straight into the pool at full speed with startled shrieks. Most guests, including my wife and I, laughed at the backfired prank, but my wasted sisters completely lost it. Georgina jumped up so fast her margarita splashed across the patio. "Diogo! Diogo!" she screamed, running to the edge of the pool where her son was flailing and splashing water everywhere. Camila was right behind her. "Renata can't swim! Oh my gosh, Renata!" Apparently, 2 of the kids couldn't even swim, despite wearing swimsuits at a pool party with water activities planned. Since I wasn't dressed for swimming, I stepped back and let others fish the kids out. Pedro and Juan, who had been laughing uproariously just moments before, now dove into action, splashing into the pool fully clothed. The children were wailing dramatically like they'd been mortally wounded, even though they'd only been in the water for seconds. And in just a few seconds, all hell broke loose, especially when I found out they were faking their inability to swim. The rest of the full story is on my channel and linked below.